Hey friends, it's Missy again. Thanks so much for stopping in today. I'm back with a new layout for Pinkfresh Studio, and I made this layout for the April 2021 monthly challenge, and the color scheme down there at the bottom, you can see that, and the theme is gold. So I immediately thought of the new washi tapes, and I have three. There are several sets. I have these three here. I have Anemone Magic, I have English Garden, and I have Joyful Bouquet. And all three of these, as you can see, look how shiny they are. They all have gold foil on them. And they're just so beautiful and so colorful. And I've already used all of these on a previous layout a few weeks ago, but I wanted to go ahead and start with these again because they're so pretty. And if you did not know, all of the rolls of washi tape have coordinating metal dies. And the die it looks kind of wonky by itself, but when you place it on top of the entire roll of all the images, it is going to cut everything out all at one time. You can kind of see what I'm talking about there. So yeah, it makes sense once you put the die on top of the washi tape. But yeah, you just stick it on there, roll it through your manual die cutting machine here, and it's going to quickly cut out all of those shapes so you don't have to do any fussy cutting or anything like that. And I love that. It's so quick, and these flowers are beautiful. I love all these colors, and even though they're all different styles of flowers on each roll, I like to mix and match them because they're just so pretty together. But you can kind of see how fast that was. And I'm just using white cardstock to cut these on, so you know, you could use whatever. But yeah, I just kind of did one roll of each roll, not one roll, but one strip that included all the images of each one. Got those cut out. I'm going to use these three photos today. I know I scrap a lot of selfies, but I can't help it. I always take cute selfies with my girls whenever they are willing to do that. And I wanted to do a color photo that had, or color photos that had more neutral tones. So there are not really a lot of bright colors in these photos, because I wanted to go bright with all of the flowers. So now I'm going to be pulling some pieces from both of the new collections, Keeping It Real and Some Days. I just kind of went through both of them and was looking for papers or embellishments, stickers, whatever, that would kind of accentuate the colors in these flowers. And remember, I also want to incorporate gold. So in the back of my mind, when I'm trying to play with everything here, I'm thinking, how else am I going to incorporate gold? What am I going to do? But I'm not quite ready to make a background yet. So I just started playing around with this photo strip, and I pulled out that green envelope from, I think that's from Some Days. And I'm going to use that as a big, long layer, since my photos are going to stay in that strip, or they're going to stay in that design anyway. And then I also wanted to incorporate some of the flowers from Keeping It Real. So I'm going to have some of the washi tape flowers and then kind of mix and match with some of the die cut flowers and see how that looks, you know. I found that little piece that said this is my favorite. That is from a cut apart sheet from one of these collections, and I wanted to kind of use it as a title, so I decided to cut the third photo by itself so I could put the title in between the photos there, because the more I was working with this design, the more I wanted to keep everything kind of in a vertical, tight fashion, and then I'll just worry about the background once I get this done. And my lighting is going to go in and out, because when I was filming this, I was noticing that the washi tapes that I have over there to the side are so shiny. The gold kept reflecting on the light, so I kept moving my lamp. Well, I have two lamps, but the one on the left, I kept having to shift it because the gold was blinding me because it's so shiny. So hopefully the lighting will be okay in the rest of this video. But yeah, I'm just playing around, trying to see what may look good where, and you know, how many more flowers I want to add and where I want to put them, and how many other colors I want to incorporate, because I mean, I've got different shades of purple, we've got some darker blues, and then in the Joyful Bouquet you've got a different shade of purple, but you've also got some of that golden yellow and some of that peachy it's not orange, but it's kind of like a peachy coral color. And then in the English Garden set, you have that Kelly green leaf color and the hot pink roses. So it's definitely a lot of color going on. So I'm trying to mix and match and find things that will work with all of those colors. So I think I have a general idea of where I'm going with this. So I'm going to go ahead and layer up some tissue paper behind my photos. I haven't glued anything down yet. Again, this is just basically pushing everything around and layering and seeing what looks good. So once I get all that finalized, I'll start to attach it. But I did want to pull in some yellow, so I did add a little bit of a piece of that cut apart sheet that I was cutting up earlier. I was going to try to layer it differently, so I cut it in half, but then I wound up putting it like you see there, and so it's okay. But I'm also going to use that little circle that says one day at a time. I fussy cut that out just because I liked it and it has a bunch of colors in it. I'm going to pop the photos up with some adhesive foam because I love dimension. I think I almost always pop my photos up because it just creates a little bit of height in between the photos and the layers. It just kind of helps everything just jump off the page a little bit better. And the good thing about using all of these different colors is it gives you more to choose from when you're looking for embellishments. You know, you're not limited to just a certain color scheme. So I can essentially use whatever embellishments I want from either of the collections because chances are it's going to match because I'm using so many colors. And sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes that's a hard thing. Sometimes I find that it's good to narrow down just to a few colors because then you only have so many embellishments to choose from and it kind of helps you narrow it down. But then sometimes it's good to use all the colors so you can have a bigger variety of things to choose from. That makes sense in my mind. I hope that makes sense coming out. But yeah, it was fun using all these colors because it just gave me lots of opportunity to pull in lots of colorful embellishments to match. So I know that I want to tuck those two big Anemone Magic washi tape clusters on either side of the photo strip and then kind of work in some of the smaller ones here and there and then some of the die cuts. So I went ahead and glued all that together, most of it. So now I can just move that whole thing around because I didn't want to have to keep building it as I was making the background. So a lot of it is already attached. So it's one big thing. So for the background, I decided that I'm going to use gold. I'm going to make a gold background. And this is going to be cool because I'm going to do something a little bit different that I don't think I've done in a long time. I'm using textured white cardstock and I just coated it with clear gesso. And I felt like since I had all these colors going on and like I said, the theme is gold, I wanted to enhance the gold that's on the washi tape. So I'm going to pull out some good old craft paint. This is Martha Stewart metallic gold craft paint. And I'm going to do the packaging technique with it. I haven't done this in forever, it seems like, but it's one of my favorite techniques. And I don't know, I just don't do it enough anymore, and I don't even know why. I'm just going to water it down. And this is going to go on a little bit differently than if it was watercolor or a spray, because it is paint and it is thicker. But it still works great. And since I use the gesso, I have plenty of time to come in with a brush and to wet it and add more water before it's going to dry. So, and I was thinking of having gold on the upper left side of the big cluster that I made, and then on the bottom right. That's kind of why I'm doing the two areas of gold. So you can kind of see it's going to peek out from behind both sides. And I like to bring the big elements back and forth as I make the background so I can see if I've done enough. And in this case, I feel like I've done plenty, but when I bring the photos back, you can't really see it. So that means I need to do more. I'm just going to keep working on it. And I love doing backgrounds like this because it allows you to just get messy and it allows you to kind of just customize it to the actual design that I've already made. Like the design is pretty much done. and I did that before I even made the background. So now I can customize the background and put the color exactly where I want it. So it's going to be seen exactly where I want it to be seen, if that makes sense. So like I said, I want it on the upper right and the bottom left, so I can manipulate the plastic or the packaging to put it exactly where I want it. So that way I'm not just randomly making the background. Sometimes I do like to make a random background and then make everything else work with it after the fact. But in this case, I basically created the layout first, and then we're going to come back and make the background exactly to fit what I've already made. And I like this craft paint because you can make it as shiny as you want, or you can dab it up like I just did with the paper towels and make it a little bit softer. So I'm just going to kind of play around with it and see what it looks like and see how I think I want it to go. And I am going to play around with the placement of the photos there. At first I thought that I wanted them to be front and center of the background, but eventually I'm going to kind of tweak it to the right a little bit and kind of twist it and turn it, and you'll see what I'm talking about here. I'm going to go ahead and add some splatters. I'm going to use the same paint. I'm just going to water it down and then start to splatter. You can already see how shiny and metallic this is, but yeah, if you don't have any sprays or watercolors, acrylic paint works good. You just have to water it down, and you can still make your fun mixed media backgrounds, you know, doing something like this. And you can, I try to make watercolor out of everything. I will try to make watercolor out of paint. I will try to make watercolor out of ink pads, anything that has color. You know, all you have to do is kind of water it down and play with it and see how it reacts, and I love it. Okay, so here's what I did. I took a break, I let it dry, and then I machine stitched with gold because it's gold and you can't have enough gold. I love how this turned out. I just wanted to add some texture. I don't know, I took a break and I thought, I need to stitch on this background. I don't know where that idea came from, but I just felt like stitching. Therefore, I did it, and I love it. I think it just adds to the texture, it adds to the interest. And I also stitched on the little title piece there that says this is my favorite. And I really just love how that turned out. So yeah, I would say that I achieved gold on this layout. I think I've passed the challenge. So I hope you guys will join us on this challenge and come up with something really cool for gold, because it's so much fun to use metallics, I think. Now, some of these flowers that I'm adding are die cuts, but then also some of them are from the washi tape that I just cut out of the little clusters, because in some of the places I didn't want to use an actual cluster. Like right here, I'm cutting one little flower out because I wanted a specific color in a specific spot. So that's another cool thing about these washi tapes is, you know, you don't have to use each cluster as it is. You can cut it up just like you would any other, you know, die cut or paper or anything like that. Do the same thing here with this piece from the English garden. I'm going to just cut out a little pink rose. I think those are roses. And just kind of work around. Yeah, I thought I wanted to add in a little bit of that hot pink color, so that's what I did. I've got in some of that golden yellow color. I've got a little bit of that peachy coral color. And then I've got lots of green from the envelope in the background, and then in the leaves. So yeah, it's just a lot of really pretty nature colors, I think. You know, that's the good thing about creating a layout full of flowers is they're colors that you would see in real life. You know, there are colors that you would see together in real life. So it's kind of just got this natural effect to it. Because I'm not a huge green fan, if I'm being honest, but it feels right when I make a layout full of flowers, because obviously all flowers have leaves and they're green. So green belongs on a flower page, and it just works, you know, and I love that. So I'm definitely going to use that little one day at a time piece over there to the left. I'm going to pop it up with some foam, and it's got all the colors in it, and I just thought that that was cute. I'm going to pop up this whole thing. I know I've already popped up the photos, but I just wanted to pop up the whole the whole piece. So I'm going to cut up more adhesive foam, and that's just kids craft foam that you can find at Walmart or a craft store. It comes in, the last time I got it, they're all 5x7 sheets, and they come in all rainbow colors in a pack, and I believe there's 40 sheets for $5, and it goes a long, long way, and you can cut it to any shape you want. It's fast, it's easy. One side is adhesive, and then I just glue it down, and it's awesome. I love it. I'm going to glue down the little detail pieces here, all the little clusters and leaves and little single flowers that I'm going to add in. And I'm trying to keep everything kind of close to the photo strip because I want the background to show and I want the stitching to show. So I'm going to keep embellishing just a little bit more. I'm going to add this little piece from Some Days. It says today. Well, actually, it says today and then there's something underneath it, but I didn't want that part to show. I just wanted the today part to show. And I liked it up at the top there because it's that golden yellow color. And then this little sticker here says little pick me up, which is perfect for these cute pictures of my daughter giving me snuggles and kisses. And then I've got some just other little random bits and pieces. I've got a couple stickers here. I've got a little die cut, or not a die cut, a puffy sticker up at the top that's a little light blue speech bubble with a white heart. Yeah, just little pieces I'm trying to add in. I'm not quite sure. I don't want to add too much more. I don't want to make it too busy. I am going to use this little sticker here that says good for the soul. I was like, that's perfect for these photos because anytime Paige wants to give you snuggles, it's the sweetest thing ever. And so yes, it is good for the soul. I just tried to figure out where to put it. I wasn't sure where I wanted it to go. So I finally decided to take off that little puffy sticker and kind of wedge it above the title. But I wanted it to have a little bit of a white border around it because I wanted it to stand out. So I'm going to very lightly trim around it. I stuck it to some white cardstock and then I'm going to cut it out. So it has just a sliver of a white border around it because it is going to go on top of the photo there. And my shirt is gray. And with that little sticker being blue, it blended in a little bit. So the tiny white border just kind of helps it stand out a little bit more. And I'm not going to do too much more on top of the photos. I'm always very careful about what I layer on top of photos. I love to do that, but I want to make sure it doesn't interfere with the photo or take away from the photo or cover up something important. So I feel like that's adequate enough. And here's just kind of a look at all the shiny gold. It's so pretty. Love, love, love it. I am going to add in some thread. I know, I almost forgot. I'm going to add in some hot pink because I've got two little spots of that color in the roses, and I felt like I needed a pop of that color over to the left. And you know me and my thread addiction. I love adding thread, not only in stitching, but just the actual thread, just tangled up in a loop, kind of tucked underneath things, peeking out. It just adds more texture, it adds more pops of color, and yeah, it just adds to the whole messy factor of a messy background, so I love it. Over to actually tested out two colors there. I thought I wanted pink, and then I thought, well, maybe I should do blue, but I decided to put the blue over to the right, and then I'm going to keep the pink on the left. Love how that looks. Just these little peaks of color. And I know it's hard to see in these lights overhead. That's why I always show lots of close-ups at the end to make sure you can see everything. So I did decide to do some blue splatters. I did want to add another color to the background, but it's very subtle. So I'm going to use two of the little ink cubes from Pinkfresh Studio. I mixed together Sky Blue and Summer Shower and just watered it down, splattered it around, and then, of course, you know me, I'm going to use some of my favorite pieces from Pinkfresh Studio. These are the Essentials Crystals and Jewels. The jewels are that golden yellow color that I'm using, and then the crystals are the light blue ones. And I just took some time to glue a couple of those down. I also used some of the purple crystals. Just slight difference in the crystals and the jewels. The jewels have more of an iridescent shine and they have a flat top, whereas the crystals are perfectly clear and they have a little point at the top, but the bottoms are flat. Both of them are gorgeous. They're just a little bit different and they come in different colors and they add the perfect sparkle and bling. Last thing I'm going to do is add my journaling. I'm going to use my gold pen because gold, oh, look at my messy bun. It was looking decent that day. But anyway, there's the final layout. Now you can see all the true colors in the correct lighting, but I love how this turned out. I think it was so much fun for this challenge to be gold because it's just something different, you know, and I don't want to say I've never done a gold background, but it just challenged me to do something different that I haven't done in a long time, if ever, is to just make a gold background. So it was really fun to do. Here's all the close-ups. I took a lot. You can see the little jewels and the crystals, all of the little details and the stitching and the flowers and all of the gold goodness. But I hope this inspired you in some way. I hope it gives you some ideas to try. And I hope you will join the challenge. I'm going to leave the link below where you can click over onto the Pinkfresh Studio blog and see where to upload your projects. As always, you can be in the running to win a $50 gift card to the store, which is awesome because they're always adding new things to the store. So pretty. Love all of their products. But anyway, let me know if you have any questions. I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great week.